Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Charlemagne the God. We are the Breakfast Club. We got our guest host, Nene Leakes, with us today.
Yes, indeed.
And we got a special guest joining us all the way from Ghana, Stonebwoy. Welcome.
Thank you, man.
What's up, my brother?
I'm good,
Hi.
thank you.
Last time I saw you, I was walking out of the Silver Fox in Ghana.
Exactly.
And you
I
was
went
next-
there too.
You was at the Silver Fox too?
Yes.
The strip
honey.
club, right?
Yes, there's some aggressive women in there.
They are aggressive, but
Yeah.
boy, it's fun in there. I didn't know you went to Silver Fox, Nene.
She ain't go with you, but she went there before. Calm down.
Hold on, y'all went to the one in Nigeria or the one in Ghana?
Ghana, I just said hello. You see the African?
Wow.
Ghana.
How much y'all dropped in there? I just want to know.
You know, I can't tell you that, but the women were very aggressive.
Wow.
Yes, they were. We had a good time. We went 2 nights in a row over there too.
Stonebwoy, you ever go to Silver Fox just for inspiration?
I never stepped inside that door before. Like,
Really?
yeah, I only met you outside, and that was apparently my first time, entering the compound. Like
Why?
after Silver Fox was built in that building.
Yeah.
It used to be a big club as well. Like that was my first time, and I met you up there.
Wow, because you was at the club next door. What's that club called?
Now that's a lounge.
A
It's
lounge.
Like, it was like, oh, what's the name of the lounge? It's just a lounge. So me and the
Why you never been inside?
I hardly go out when I'm in Ghana, the vibes. Because when we go out, like it's the streets we move with, the vibes. And for me, basically,
You ain't about giving away that money, huh?
no, it's not even about the money.
Stay away.
It's really, yeah, exactly. But I think it has to do with the upbringing and growing up, It's been about so much hustle, so much so that like it would never come to mind to go to a strip club. Like you're
Really?
hitting the streets. You're just, I don't have nothing against the strip club anyway. I would like to go one time.
So when you move in Ghana, you move with a lot of people to make sure you're safe and everything?
No, it's not even about safety. It's just about the love and the way we connect with the streets and how we've been representing for streets from time. So anytime we step out, it's like
Everybody steps up.
everybody steps out too.
How do you feel about the love that Ghana seems to be receiving on an international level? Everybody want to go to Ghana, Dirty December. What you think about
It's
that?
really amazing, and it's one thing that gladdens my heart, and I know that we have to actually capitalize on that to expand on all of the other avenues that are really very important, so that it's not only about the entertainment, but about investment, developing the nation as well as Black people across the globe, so.
How does it feel to see the music being represented in so many different countries around the world? At one time, I'm sure it was very difficult to get out, but now it seems like no matter where you go, whether it's the U.S. or it's London or U.K., whatever it may be, it's Afrobeats music is so big now.
It's beautiful to realize because it's not only benefiting the African people who are in Africa, but it's actually benefiting everybody globally, both from the business angles, like the labels are jumping in now heavily, and they're investing in actually pushing, more of the African sound across the mainstreams over here in the West, and it gladdens my heart because we are also a part of it, and especially myself also a part of it from Ghana in this new school. Not to discredit or just take all the credit in our time, but we have to also credit our predecessors who have been knocking the doors from the 70s and all of that. So we have only built upon that. And in our time now, I think by the help of technology and internet and all the accesses that we have, we've been able to get it to this level that, you guys are, the world is gravitated to it.
Yeah, I'm realizing that it's not just Afrobeats though. Like, it's so many different types of subgenres of the music. We just say Afrobeats because that's what we know, but what else is there?
I think right now it's basically Afrobeats is the mother name or the umbrella name, but it stems from a lot of inspiration that comes from the motherland because, you've been there, you can understand the number of subgenres and styles that influence the mother Afrobeat. We should be probably just tapping into maybe 30% of what you guys hear as Afrobeats. Yeah, by the time everything taps in properly, bro, that's where I think people know already that Africa is the motherland, basically, and there are millions of styles that, erupts from there. So,
While you're here in the U.S., are you getting in the studio with any American artists?
I went to Jamaica to do one of the biggest festivals over there, Rebels Salute, and then I came back here to do a couple touches. I was in studio with yesterday I did a session with Capella Gray because I really I really love his sound, and that last time was with Kerry Hilson, so we dropped one beautiful song before. So in the pipelines we're pushing things, and my album is about to drop anyway, like in March. So we have some surprises on the album, and my headline show is in March as well here in New York.
And you signed to Def Jam. Most people don't know you signed to Def Jam, correct? Now how did that come about?
I mean, it's been in the pipeline for a while. I think I'm cool with the president from Africa, Sifo, who's been watching my works over the time. I mean, we've been representing for the genres of Afrobeat and dancehall strongly. So when it comes to Africa, one name that will sound on your mind from time is Stonebwoy, for the combination that I've always represented, and reggae as well. So I think there's now there's a need to actually drive that particular style, as intense as it is, onto the global stages. So that's why I think Def Jam and I came together for this beautiful partnership, and I will be dropping the first project together in March. So you guys look out for that one.
Why do you think Ghana hasn't had the musical success that Nigeria has? It seems like all the artists that's popping from the motherland are from Nigeria. Why do you think that is?
It's that's a big one. Truth be told, I've always had, discussions. All of the big ones from Nigeria are my brothers, definitely. We've been trying to crack this, but we all believe that the number factor is part of it. And then that not being the first on the list for me, I appreciate my Nigerian brothers for their tenacity, and their aggressiveness, and also their mindset, And the beautiful thing is we all tap into that because these are our brothers, no matter how you want to put borders around it. We are one people, so it's all of us in the end. We play our roles, they play their roles as well. Interestingly, every of their top lister finds inspiration in Ghana, basically. Like Burna says it often.
Yeah,
Wizkid literally lives in Ghana. Davido's like a brother that's 247. We're together, so we all keep playing our individual roles to get us all out there. We cannot all be in the front seat. But I mean, it's a long queue in the back.
What did you think when we see Meek Mill over there, and Meek Mill was riding the bikes through the hoods and everything like that? Like I thought it was dope because it was like, Meek Mill is known for the bike. So the fact that he tapped in and was riding with the people, I just thought that was dope. What was your thoughts on that?
It's crazy. All those bikers are my boys. It's not like boys I know from the fact that they're my brothers. We grew up together. So it's basically, I've known about that before time, and I'm happy that, my brothers from us were growing up are all joining in that, and that vibe. From the hood that I come, which is called a Shyman, that's where you find most of the bikers. The boys who are with him, they're my boys from ground. So it gives me a lot of joy for that shine that they're getting, because, from the streets, you represent through the streets by, those moves. And I think it's nice. It's nice to witness. And Ghana is always welcoming. You guys know the vibes we have.
He also got some flack too for I guess shooting a video, and he apologized. He said he didn't know, but he said he got permissions. What was your thoughts
in the Jubilee House?
Yeah, this would probably be the first time I'm speaking about that, because I've not necessarily tried to stay away from that comment, but it's truth be told, I couldn't come to the States and go to the White House and do whatever I want to do, except there was a certain amount of leeway, that I could, do stuff. But this, I don't think is a big deal. And the internet went crazy, and he did the best thing he had to do, because that, for me, I think it was a job of the security personnel and the protocol to make sure that, bro, we don't film over here, we don't do this over here, we don't do that. He's excited. He doesn't know the laws, I believe, or doesn't, so
true.
He only tried to get the best of his trip, and coming out to apologize just shows you his true intentions. Absolutely. He wasn't in the known to go and, throw dirt on such a place. So.
I wanted to ask you about the festivals, right? Like, you talked about the love that Nigerian artists have for Ghana, but don't you feel like the Afro Nations or now the Afro Futures, which used to be Afrochella.
Yeah.
No, if they're gonna do it in Ghana, shouldn't they intentionally have artists from Ghana on those stages?
Yeah, there are artists from Ghana on those stages.
Okay.
I've headlined it 3 years in a row.
Okay.
So that
Which one, the Afro Nation?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Afro Nation, Afrochella, which is gonna be called Afro Future. It has Ghanaian artists on it. I think what you want to mean probably is that the fact that it's headlined by, I've headlined it. I mean, the A-list definitely, but the Nigerian brothers always be the ones to also headline it. I don't see no problems with that anyway. Assuming it was held in Nigeria and has other African artists, not only from Ghana, headlining it, I think that would still be cool. But truth be told, as big as Afrochella is or Afro Future is, it's still growing. I don't think it's more than 5 years, if I'm not mistaken. So it's going to just get bigger and better and be held in different other countries in Africa. I trust. Yeah.
Now, why do you like when girls lie to you? Like you say on that song Therapy, you say girls lying to you is like therapy. Why?
I mean, there's when you check it from where I was writing the stuff from, I mean, what I wanted to actually imply is like, you see the vibe, like people really don't like the truth like that, Like, we know the truth, but we really don't want to stick with it most often when, all this toxic relationship and etc. You see the red flags, you see whatever it is, but you still want to be there for what it is. So that's just what I was trying to, capture in that line of, I love it when you lie to me. That it feels like therapy.
Has lying to you ever felt like therapy?
I was about to say.
Has somebody lying to you ever felt like therapy?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because you
can learn a lot from that. It's teaching me a lot. It teaches me a lot about you to sit up and lie.
Really?
Wow.
I didn't really. People like to be lied to?
No, I don't like to be lied to.
Oh, got you.
Not at all. Yeah. But I understand what he's saying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, Lala was here
Guys
last
like
week.
lies anyway.
Guys like like.
No, we don't.
They do.
Well, it depends what type of lie.
Just be lying about anything.
It depends.
Keep trying and trying and trying.
You say guys like to be lied to, or guys like lying?
They like to
and
be
girls
lied
like to be
to.
lied to too.
It depends on what the lie is.
Yeah, guys like to be lied to.
I don't want you to feed my ego in that way.
Oh, baby,
you
you're
can
the
stroke
best.
it a little bit.
Baby, you're this. Oh,
See,
you're the
that
best.
feels good. That wasn't even to me, and it feels good.
But what if I am?
Well, you might be thinking you are, but she may be thinking you're not. I'm just telling you, you're the best.
The worst time to do that is in the bedroom.
That's what I was saying.
Because I can't get better. You know what I mean? You got to tell me that I'm not.
So you like lies in the bedroom?
No, I want you to tell me the truth. Like, you're like, man, you ain't doing that right. So I can go watch Pornhub and figure out how to do it right.
You don't mind a little lie here or there.
And no.
You hop out the bed, she be like, oh, you so fine. And you be like, now you know I'm skinny.
He's never heard that before. He's never heard that before.
That's a damn lie.
See, he's never heard that before.
They actually say handsome.
That's a lie.
All right.
That is a lie.
You're so handsome.
Thank you, Nene.
Guys like lies.
She's lying. So I was going to ask you, Lala was here last week, and she was talking about she likes African men because African men spend money on their women. Now, Nene also has an African man, and Nene says the same. So we're asking you, is it something that the culture, why is that?
I think it's part of our culture and upbringing. Like, you need to be the man of the house. You need to take care of the home. So that translates into how we deal with, our women as well. Honestly speaking, that's where I know it stems from. Yeah. And that gives you a certain amount of control, not in a bad way.
Control that no one wants.
Yeah. That's why I said not in a bad way. It gives you a certain amount of control. I'm just being very honest all across boards, because different people do things for different reasons. As much as some men would want to be, taking care of you so they can keep you and have you and
control you,
be with you. I mean,
and control you.
Damn, control is the word?
Well, that would never happen over here.
Okay.
Like, I'm uncontrollable. Okay. But I do feel like Africans, want a certain amount of control. They do.
I mean, they have to be in charge. That's how I would say it, because that's what a man has to be. Like, as far as I know,
the man being in charge.
It's not about the woman being dull or anything, but we love to have women who are like respectful, submissive, supportive, and then you still, they consult you, like they treat you as. I mean, it's general. Like, men love to be respected, so. I think that's just how it is for African.
Now, when you said submissive, what does that mean? Because I see Nene go, so what is
I'm submissive.
Exactly.
I am.
Like, I think it's very cool to be submissive. I am so attracted. I mean, I respect women who are not like you're being abused. No, none of that. But there's beauty in that for me. Like, it's like you being a woman. If you're over the top, I see you as another man.
Damn.
If you're over the top, you see me.
Damn.
Wait a minute, you gotta say that again.
Damn. So hold
Wait
on.
a minute, say it again. If you're over the top, you see it as a what?
No. I see you as another man. It's okay.
But it's got to be both ways, though, right? Like, doesn't the man have to be submissive to his woman as well?
Yeah, but
in certain aspects,
definitely.
Yeah.
Submission from a man is actually, I think, showing love and being, like you say, like stemming it from the African man conversation. Submission would be him being, taking care of, listening to the woman's problems, like, yo, babe, I want to do this, I want to do that. Okay, I'll sit you down. How do you want to get it done? That for me is like attention, because women love attention, and men have to see them humble and submissive. So.
Recently Akon was talking about the gender roles between African women and American women, and he said that men are superior to women and could never be equal because men are the kings and divine of this universe. Men are the ones who create life. What do you think of those comments?
Those were strong comments. I saw the responses that he got. I respect Akon a lot. He's a big legend, so he has a right to say his wisdom. Basically, it depends on how you want to understand it. But how I want to deduce that is definitely, in today's world, things and times are changing. Mm-hmm. I should believe that 20, 30 years ago, some communities that we've had have not even been loud enough. And today, I just don't want to mention, but today you have a lot of all of us, merging together, etc. So being superior as a man, I don't think, if it's not in a bad way, if it's not destroying anybody's peace, anybody's joy, or clapping a lot of women together abusively. I'm from Africa. I understand. My grandfather had 7 wives, and my dad had almost 2.
Almost 2?
What is almost 2 mean?
You know what I mean?
That was almost 2 weeks.
I mean, he had a married one and he had one on the side.
Yeah,
that's not 2 hours.
At a point in time, so I could just say 2, so you can understand that it lives with us, like,
So do you want more than one wife?
I cannot handle more than one wife.
I know that's right, honey.
Yeah, I be honest. I cannot handle more than one wife, so I have one wife and I have 2 kids, and I'm done.
What do you think about those comments that Akon made, Nene?
To the mic, Nene.
Yeah. I don't want to comment on it.
Okay.
Because I don't think my comments will be good.
That's good. That's fine. You post. Yeah. What are they?
But realistically, we know Akon has multiple wives, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly so.
And I like Akon, by the way.
Yeah.
But I thought when I was in Ghana,
and in Africa, a lot of people have lots of wives and lots of concubines,
yes,
etc.
they do.
Yeah, when I was in Ghana, I saw like they was like spray paint that said Ghana is for women, and a lot of people were telling me that, like, the patriarchy doesn't really exist in Ghana. Like, women lead, and they're
No, it does. It depends on the tribes.
Okay.
I think it still exists in the Ashanti tribe, which have matrilineal, like an uncle and a nephew. A nephew inherits an uncle's properties, like from the mother's side. Mm-hmm. I'm from the Volta side. It's not matrilineal. It's the dad's side stuff that goes on. So it's not the whole of Ghana.
Oh, so certain tribes, the women lead.
Certain tribes, the women lead. And I know that of the Ashantis, but majority of the other tribes, I don't believe is a woman who lead. For Ghana, definitely, is a patrilineal movement out there.
To me, the divine order of things, to me, is like women are the natural leaders. Because they carry us for 9 months, and then when we come out, they're our first protectors and our first, nurturers, and it's just natural that we're following women, like your grandmother, your mother. Yeah. Like that's how I look at it.
What I believe, honestly, is that when we try to now identify who plays that single role, we're gonna get it wrong. I believe that, and I'll say it honestly. It doesn't have to be who is necessarily leading, but it's a roles that we play as individuals to get it to the fullness, because it's never one-sided. It's always two-sided.
I was going to ask you, we doing our homework, we seen that 7 years ago you got knee surgery.
Yeah.
and they said that one of the biggest soccer players actually paid for it.
Try to pronounce the name. I like how you avoiding that name. I like.
So explain what happened. Break down what happened.
What's his name?
Asamoah Gyan has been a captain
knew
of the
that.
Black
Asamoah Gyan,
Stars. Is one of the
could've said
biggest
that.
players, you know.
But go ahead. So what happened?
I think 20 years ago, I had an accident, you know, and had a really bad knee. So I was living with that as a ghetto youth, you know, struggling through life, doing music, etc. I mean, you know, living up. And then I think 7 years when we counted back, this is the 7th year. And one time I went to do his birthday concert, and then he asked me what happened. I gave him the story and told him, oh, fortunately, next month, the 3rd of next month, is actually going to be 7 years when I did the surgery.
Wow.
You know, then he said, how much would it cost to do it? And I'm like, I'm sure I'm actually going to do it next month on the 3rd anyway, because it was around the same time, like we were speaking around this time. So it's just like I should send him over the bills, and I did, and then he just wired the money to the hospital.
Wow.
I told him that time that the time was going to come when I was going to let the world know. And I think this is the time. So it really blew their minds, because nobody would have ever thought. And, you know, it's big. It's big news back home, because we understand what it means and who he is as a person as well.
But, you know, one thing I realized about people in Ghana, like, they're very giving.
True.
You know what I mean? Like, they give of themselves in a real way.
For sure. You will feel bad for not giving somebody what they ask you. If it goes to that extent, like they can emotionally blackmail you for you to feel like you did them wrong, even if you couldn't afford to give them what they asked.
Yeah. Now, why were you banned?
But he's a very good friend of mine. He's been like a brother of mine from time, and people didn't know it was this deep until I came out to say that. Then they had a different picture. Yeah.
Was he a fan of your music, or?
Yeah, he loves music. He said he would have been a musician if he wasn't a football player.
All right.
Yeah, because I have songs. I have a song with him anyway, and he's had songs with other big legends in Ghana before, you know, me anyway. So
now, why were you banned from the VGMAs? What is it? The
Ghana Music Awards.
Vodafone Ghana Music Awards.
Music Awards, yeah. That's the biggest music awards, you know, scheme in Ghana, hands down. It's been running for like 20 plus years, and I think I got into a little something with one of my brothers.
A scuffle?
Yeah.
Okay.
At the
Big
awards?
one. At the awards. Live
That'll
on
do it.
TV.
Live on TV?
TV.
Oh, that'll do it.
Oh yeah.
When was that?
I mean, I was picking up my award for winning the Reggae Dancehall Artist for the 5th time in a row,
Wow.
you know, and I think, you know, he couldn't take it, so he had to swim to the stage.
Oh, he came to the stage too.
He came with a lot of people.
But
Like,
why
you know what I mean?
They
'Cause
should have just had him to not return.
exactly. So I was about to give my speech when he disrupted the whole thing, and it was very chaos and dangerous. And you know, we know from the streets, because he's from the street, I'm from the street, so we really got there.
So Will Smith would have never walked up and tried to smack you, huh?
No, you couldn't do that.
He said, no, you couldn't do that.
I'm sorry, but naturally, I'm quickly defensive.
Yeah.
As you should.
Naturally. So what it was is that, you know, we've been having this beef for years, you know, and I don't even know where it's stemming from. But interestingly, you know, that's how that brother moved around that period. It was attacking everybody, and to step on stage to do that was not something we were going to accept. And if he came alone, then you could probably, but he came with an attack, like he came with a gang storming on the stage. And bro, we've been always ready.
So why they ban you? If all you was doing was defending yourself, how they ban you? Security should have been doing their job.
Exactly. So guess what it was is that security came over, covered the whole scene, and then, you know, separated the vibes, and they escorted me home. And then later on, the news was, you know, spread the vibes of, you know, there being, because there were weapons involved.
Weapons?
You know? I mean,
Did anybody get hurt, shot,
no.
stabbed? No.
Not even one.
So
person.
did y'all squash it out, or y'all still don't see eye to eye?
After some months, we tried to, and I think it was in the best interest for the nation and the followers that we have. And so, till date, we talk once. But I mean, that's the levels is on. We're good.
Y'all don't have a gun
It's not like
culture.
naturally it's not naturally we've been super cool already anyway. We were good, but we've, so we're still normal friends right now.
But y'all don't have a gun culture in Ghana, so what's the weapon?
Your fist?
I mean, there are bad people everywhere.
That's right.
And there
Yeah.
are things everywhere. I mean, it doesn't have to, gun culture is not good for any country, basically. So it's not even about having a gun culture. There are weapons. I think there are more weapons in Africa because that's where they're sold more.
Well, tell us about the Livingstone Foundation.
Yeah, Livingston Foundation is my maiden name, and so my foundation. I mean, my story is a unique one. If you get to
You
follow
said
it,
mating. I thought you said mating. I'm like, boy, you is wild. I thought you had a mating name, like
That's
mate.
what we
That's what I
Nah.
thought.
okay, like my first name, basically.
We got you.
Yeah. So it's all inspired by my story because I mean I honestly came from the streets, no two ways about it. Like at the age of 13 I got into an accident. I had to actually live through it 13 years after to be able to raise funds, to be able to, so I was on the street basically, so I understand how it feels. While I was going through school, I've been sent home a few times. While I was going through school, I've had nothing to eat the whole time, but going through the school and completing as well, putting myself in school. I've paid my own school fees from senior high to university, so I know how it feels like to be a struggler and a warrior on the streets. So I opened up the foundation to support kids who, from my school as well, I used to pay their fees. Those who were gonna finish school, like the last year's students who couldn't pay anything because then you couldn't write your final exams. I sorted out their fees. That's what the foundation has been for. And then for health reasons as well. So also when I got my accident, I was stuck in the hospital for almost 6 months. I remember paying my bills later after I was out hustling on the street because I had arrears to pay. So I've put myself down to be the living stone for the people. And that's how come I am who I am in Ghana and I'm not played with at all by the people. So that's what the foundation does. The foundation actually circles every area. It circles from health, from education, and also advocacy. Right now, the most, one of the top advocacies that we've involved ourselves in is for the planet and the galamsey situations and the illegal, felling of trees and pollution of our water bodies in Ghana is what I'm actually into and pushing the awareness for that.
And you're the president of the Behem Nation.
Yeah, Beam Nation.
What is that?
Beam is like when you say boom, when you say yo. So I put beam in my song from time, and then I think people gravitated to that and call me yo beam, and that's how I
like
realized
your
that
ad-lib.
ad-lib, exactly. So I'm like, I got the inspiration to just expand that nicely. And my belief in God is so much. It's so much I can't even describe. So I put a meaning to that beam. I spelt it out now, and I said, "Bless His Imperial Majesty," because His Imperial Majesty is the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, conquering Lion of the tribe of Judah. That's God Almighty. That's the powers that I believe in. So I'm like giving thanks every time. So that's the Beam Nation. So I put a nation to it. So all my fans, all my followers belong to the Beam Nation. So I'm the president of the Beam Nation. You see me? So that's it.
Gotcha.
And I wanted to ask you too, what's the difference between Ghana before independence and after independence? Like how his life changed?
I think that for those who know the history and have read about Kwame Nkrumah, etc., and the things that he did for Ghana and the movement that he made and the influence he had on Africa as a whole, if Kwame Nkrumah if he was still, he actually propelled, he and a team, however, he couldn't have done it all alone, but he is the pioneer of our independence. You know what I mean? Before, I think the British rule was there, and then when he came up with his agendas and ideas to unite Africa, because he's the founder of the, I think, Organization of African Unity around that time, Ghana would have been crazy. It's just like comparing him to Malcolm X for me, Marcus Garvey and the rest, because these are his mates. And I think most often we all do believe that if these people were alive and the way they were pushing stuff, it would have been a better community or better countries for our race and our people. That's what I also think about his time and now.
Why is it important for Black Americans and people from the motherland to build that bridge, build that connection?
Exactly. I believe is super important because without that, we're cutting off our roots. And then we go back to the names that I mentioned, the Kwame Nkrumahs, the Marcus Garveys, the Malcolm X's. These were the things that they stood for heavily. And I think it's even Marcus Garvey who started the Black Star Line stuff to bring the, to serve that pathway of having to, for instance, ship goods and, if necessary, the peoples from the motherland who have gained a lot of knowledge whatsoever to actually ship it back home to actually build the nations. So, it's really very important to connect that bridge, which I always have been doing and which I've set myself aside because guess what? Today we're all jumping to Afrobeats, and we love it. And people know it comes from Africa. You know what I mean? But Africa has tons and tons and tons of influence on so many things, even in the West, from the R&Bs to the hip hops to wherever. And there's so much segregation. Like, for instance, I do get that segregation sometimes, like, dancehall and Afrobeat and reggae and retete. It's important to know by connecting these dots that we're all from. Once you're black, bro, I don't think you're from Pluto, bro.
Word.
Once you're black, you're from the motherland.
Word.
But how could you be from the motherland out of all things and then still be refusing that the music and the styles and everything else is not a part of it?
I got two more questions. How do you feel the direction of Afrobeats, and I guess even dancehall is going, especially with how popular it's becoming in the States? Because there's a lot of us here that feel like in a minute, Afrobeats is going to be the biggest black genre of music across the world, and even surpassing hip hop.
And we love it because it's still black.
Right.
It's still black, and it's like the first brother took over, and the second brother is taking over, and the third sister is taking over, and it's just the same family.
Right.
That's how I can describe it. So if Afrobeats does get the forefront like it's getting, interestingly, it has all the other genres embedded inside of it. When you break down any typical Afrobeat song, you can put every other music of black origin on there. If you strip one Afrobeat song down as a producer,
Dancehall.
take this one out, you can find dancehall in there. That's how come everybody's gravitating to it, I believe so. Because everybody can find themselves in there, knowingly or unknowingly.
R&B,
So
rap, everything, yep.
It's one big tree with several branches. I don't want to even say different branches, several branches from one big tree. So whichever leads at whatever point in time, that's how it's supposed to be. Because music is dynamic, it's diverse, it cannot be boring. You know, today it comes through the dancehall spectrum, tomorrow it goes through the Afrobeat spectrum, and we're still enjoying it.
And you got to tell me, man, as nice as the people in Ghana are, as beautiful as the people in Ghana are, why is the service so terrible?
Bro,
Why is
I heard
the service
I heard
so
you
terrible?
say that. I heard you say that. Like in
do
your
we have
words, you
bad
even say
service?
we're a bit laid back people. It's not. It's not everywhere. I'm sorry for wherever you went.
Silver Fox was amazing.
Yeah,
The service in Silver Fox was amazing.
It's not everywhere, you know. So all I can say is that, you know, people have to, even here in the States, bro.
Yeah.
Sometimes you go somewhere to some of the big places, and you're like, oh, you know. So
And the other restaurant. What's the restaurant that the president's daughter owned? That was good.
the Insumunam, you can say that, right?
Yeah. What's the name of it?
Insumunam.
In Sumanad. Their service was amazing.
Yeah. Can you say that too?
In Sumina.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Like,
The other one,
like,
the one that started with a K.
okay, Kozo.
Kozo. I loved Kozo.
Yeah.
3
Kozo.
hours.
Oh, and I liked it.
Food?
And that
Really?
was
They
that was
take
after
me
they
to
told me to
that
come there because the service would be
They
great.
didn't
Yeah,
tell
so
me that.
that's Kozo. So let's put it on Kozo. Kozo.
No,
Next
they
time.
treated
Next
me-
time.
they
Next
were-
time.
they
Make
had
sure.
good service
They
there.
were nice though. I mean, they came and bought us free champagne for the
Yeah,
wait
exactly.
and everything. Took
Yeah.
gave us a discount because of the wait, but
Mm-hmm.
boy, it was
a
3
wait.
hours. Yes, sir.
Well, let's get into your joint. What you want to hear?
Oh.
What should we play? Oh, and real quick, you're gonna be performing at the Palladium in Times
Yeah,
Square.
on the 3rd
Your
month,
Homeland
yeah.
concert. What is
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, that's it's been a long time I performed there. The last time was 2016 at the Irving Plaza. And then I mean this time we're moving it up to the Palladium, Times Square. I'm expecting my Jesus. Like this is gonna be an intimate something for me. So, you know, be a part of this intimacy, or my Caribbean brothers, or my African brothers, or my Yankee sisters, etc. Come experience what Stonebwoy got, and let's add up to the numbers that, you know, that is moving up already, because it's not only the Davids, the Burners, the Wizkids. No, there are tons and tons of amazing artists that you guys need to check out. You know?
Right.
What you want to hear? What
record should we play, man? We're gonna
Wow.
play a record on the radio right now.
One of mine,
Let's go.
Yeah,
I would hope so. Stonebwoy.
Therapy. I
Therapy.
love that song.
Okay.
Therapy.
All right. Let's
Well,
play
it's
Therapy.
It's Stonebwoy. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.